He's a multiple Super Bowl MVP winner, a multiple league MVP, and the man who is redefining the quarterback position. He is, by any measure, one of the greatest quarterbacks of his generation, a global icon whose every move seems destined for a highlight reel. But to truly understand how Patrick Mahomes became unstoppable, you have to go back to a time when his future was anything but certain. You have to go back to when the very things that made him a legend were the same things that made NFL scouts and GMs doubt him. This is the story of how a raw, unconventional talent from a small town in Texas transformed into the face of the NFL. High school. Before he was Showtime Mahomes, he was simply Pat, the son of a big league pitcher growing up in locker rooms and dugouts, where the smell of pine tar and leather filled the air. Baseball was the family business, and young Pat looked destined to carry the torch. In high school, he was a flame-throwing right-hander with a live arm and serious pop at the plate. Good enough for the Detroit Tigers to draft him in 2014. Meanwhile, on Friday nights in Tyler, Texas, Mahomes was rewriting the script for what a quarterback could be. He wasn't a polished pocket passer. He was a gunslinger, fearless, improvisational, and raw. A 3-star recruit with only 3 FBS scholarship offers. His game was considered too wild and too unorthodox to succeed at the big college programs. Having to decide between baseball and football, Mahomes opted to focus on football. Giving up the opportunity to play for the Detroit Tigers, he instead committed to Texas Tech, a gamble that would ignite one of the most electrifying rises the sport of college football had ever witnessed. College. At Texas Tech, under the wide-open air raid offense of Coach Cliff Kingsbury, Patrick Mahomes was unleashed, and the numbers he put up were simply staggering. As a sophomore, he threw for over 4,600 yards and 36 touchdowns. As a junior, he led the entire nation with 5,052 passing yards, 41 touchdowns through the air, and 12 more on the ground, all in just 12 games. In one legendary shootout loss against Oklahoma, Mahomes threw for a mind-boggling 734 yards on 88 pass attempts and set an NCAA record for total offense with 819 yards in a single game. But while the stats lit up scoreboards, the wins didn't follow. Texas Tech finished 5-7, and the same creativity that made Mahomes must-see television became his greatest red flag to NFL scouts. They saw the talent, the arm strength, the instincts, but also the chaos, the poor footwork, the constant risk-taking, the system. One scout called him a project at best. Another said bluntly, he may never be NFL ready. They saw a gambler. They didn't see a generational quarterback, not yet, but the stage was set for the league to find out just how wrong they were. Rookie year. The Kansas City Chiefs saw something different. General Manager Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid saw the potential behind the poor mechanics. They saw a generational talent. On draft night in 2017, they made a bold move, trading up from the 27th pick all the way to the 10th to select Holmes, making him the first quarterback the Chiefs had taken in the first round since 1983. Instead of throwing him under center right away, the Chiefs put together a succession plan for Patrick, and they had the perfect mentors in place. Andy Reid, one of the brightest offensive minds in football, and Alex Smith, the team's veteran starting quarterback. For an entire season, Mahomes sat, watched, and learned. He wasn't just holding a clipboard, he was absorbing what it meant to be a professional quarterback. Reid would later call Alex Smith the greatest thing that ever happened to Pat Mahomes. Smith, an ultimate professional, opened his world to the rookie, teaching him the nuances of game prep, leadership, and navigating the league. It was an invaluable apprenticeship, a year of honing his talent without the pressure of performing in games. The MVP unleashed. Before the 2018 season, the Chiefs traded Alex Smith, officially handing the keys to the franchise to Mahomes. The question that had followed him since the draft, could his style work in the NFL, was about to be answered. From week 1, it was clear he was a different kind of quarterback. In his very first game as the full-time starter, he threw for 4 touchdowns with no picks. He ended up throwing 13 touchdowns in his first 3 games, setting an NFL record. The no-look passes and the impossible arm angles learned from his baseball days were creating throws no one had seen before. By the end of the season, the stats were historic. Mahomes threw for 5,097 yards and 50 touchdowns, joining Peyton Manning as the only players in NFL history to hit both marks in a single season. He became the first player ever to throw for over 5,000 yards in both college and the NFL. He rightfully won both the NFL Offensive Player of the Year and the NFL Most Valuable Player awards, the first Chief ever to win MVP. He was redefining what was possible from the quarterback position in just his first season under center. The playoffs. Winning the MVP was one thing, but reaching the pinnacle of the sport required navigating the brutal landscape of the NFL playoffs. Mahomes' journey to the Super Bowl was a trial by fire, filled with adversity and dramatic showdowns. In his 2018 MVP season, the Chiefs fell just short, losing a heartbreaker to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. But that loss only fueled his resolve to come back stronger the following year. In 2019, he suffered a dislocated kneecap mid-season, an injury that could have derailed their championship hopes. Yet, he returned with a vengeance, guiding the team through the AFC bracket. His playoff run was a masterclass in resilience. In the divisional round against the Houston Texans, the Chiefs fell into a shocking 24-0 hold, but Mahomes remained unfazed, leading one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history, scoring 41 unanswered points to secure a stunning victory. He was proving that his talent wasn't just about flash, it was about clutch performance when the stakes were the highest. He helped the Chiefs reach their first Super Bowl in 50 years, ready to face his biggest test yet. Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl 54 presented the ultimate challenge. Facing the formidable San Francisco 49ers defense, Mahomes and the Chiefs offense struggled for much of the game. With just over 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they trailed 20-10. It seemed that this year's magical run would end in the all-too-familiar heartbreak of seasons past. Then, the legend was born. Facing a critical 3rd and 15 on what would be the defining play of his young career, Mahomes dropped back, evaded pressure, and launched a deep pass to Tyreek Hill for a 44-yard gain. The play, nicknamed Wasp, ignited the comeback. From that moment on, Mahomes was surgical. He led the Chiefs on a furious 21-0 run in the final minutes of the game. He finished with 286 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown, earning him Super Bowl MVP honors. At just 24 years old, he was the youngest quarterback in history to win the award. The face of the NFL. Winning one Super Bowl solidifies a legacy. Winning multiple creates a dynasty. After his first championship, Patrick Mahomes didn't rest. He signed a groundbreaking 10-year contract extension worth over $450 million, the largest in sports history at the time, cementing his future in Kansas City. That contract was a statement. This was just the beginning. Over the next few seasons, Mahomes became the undisputed face of the NFL. He has led the Chiefs to 7 consecutive AFC Championship games and 5 Super Bowls since the 2018 season. In 2022, he had another spectacular season, leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns and earning his 2nd NFL MVP award. He capped it off by winning Super Bowl 57, where he once again earned Super Bowl MVP. He then followed that up by leading the Chiefs to a victory in Super Bowl 58, securing back-to-back titles and his 3rd Super Bowl MVP award. This achievement tied him with the legendary Joe Montana for the 2nd most Super Bowl MVPs in history, behind only Tom Brady. From a quiet town in Texas to the roaring stadiums of the NFL, the journey of Patrick Mahomes has been nothing short of unstoppable. He was the multi-sport athlete with an uncertain future, the college star with a questionable style, and the draft pick many called a project. But through it all, he proved that the very qualities that made him different were the qualities that made him transcendent. This isn't just the story of a quarterback who wins championships. It's the story of an innovator who turned pressure into power. It's the story of a man who looked at the quarterback position with all its rules and conventions and decided to paint his own masterpiece. And he's not done yet. So, what is your favorite or least favorite Patrick Mahomes moment? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more stories about the athletes who transcend the game, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.